Today I want to talk to you guys about payday loans. I want to talk to you about why I believe you should avoid them and what to do if you have one, and what can happen if you have a payday loan and you cannot actually pay it. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. During that time span, I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to working in the legal department and management. Lastly, I've owned 2 debt collection agencies over the course of that time. During the last 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions about debt. Now, I want to be the go-to guy for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment. I promise you I'll answer those questions. Let's go. Okay, so I have to share something with you guys. It's just on my heart. A lot of times when something's on my heart, I just have to share it. And I hope that this will help you guys. It'll just get you to think, right? So there are 2 things that I actually have to share, and I'll be very brief with this because I know that you want to know about payday loans, which I'm going to explain to you everything about those, my knowledge with regards to payday loans. But nevertheless, in the mornings when I take my son to school, I listen to, in San Diego, a radio station called Magic 92.5. It's like oldies. Jagger and Christy are the host of this radio show, and they're married. For those of you in San Diego, you guys know, but those of you who are other places, you probably never heard of it. But nevertheless, they do a thing called Hometown Hero. And basically how this works is people write in and talking about either friends or family or someone that they know who they believe is like a hero in the city of San Diego, in San Diego County. And so basically how it works is you will write a letter in talking about somebody who you believe has done something great in the county of San Diego. Now, today's story was 2 ladies. One of the ladies wrote in, and basically she wrote in about another lady who actually tragically lost her son. She was a great person, but tragically lost her son. He drowned in a pool. And basically from that, the lady whose son drowned in the pool, she made a Facebook page, and she has this whole thing about awareness with regards to your kids and being around the pool. And one of the things that she stated that stuck with me hugely was the mere fact that she said 30 seconds changed her life. Right? The reality is that tragic changed her life. She took something of lemons and made lemonade out of it. Obviously, her son died. That's tragic. It's something that she's going to have to deal with forever. But she's raising awareness so that other people don't lose their sons, obviously, with regards to swimming. And, I have twin boys. They're 4 years old, so around that age, so it just hit me. We let them swim all the time. And the reality is, we need to watch that. So the whole thing is your life can be changed in 30 seconds, negatively and positively. And so just think about that. The other thing that I wanted to do is I saw a quote, I believe this morning on social media or something, and it talks about choose your hard. And the 2 things that I want to talk about in that aspect that I got was it talked about being in shape, right? And it says being in shape is hard. Being out of shape is hard. Choose your hard. And I'm going to just do a quick plug. My wife, she has a coaching business, as well as she has an ebooks with regards to it's called Frugally Keto. I'll put it down in the description. Check out our website if you're trying to lose weight in a frugally and a keto way. She has that all covered, so check that out. The next thing is with regards to your credit, right? It's hard to have bad credit. It's hard to have good credit. Choose your hard. So I just had to share that with you guys. But nevertheless, let's get into payday loans. What is a payday loan? A payday loan basically is a short-term loan which helps you cover your immediate cash needs until your next payday. That's what they were designed for, right? So basically, there are two ways you can get the loan. For those of you who have gotten them, or you may not have gotten them, I'm not promoting them, but I just want to let you know how you can get them. You can either go online, which makes it very easy. You go online, put in your information. You just have to have a job, place of employment, and a bank account. And basically what happens is they'll deposit the money into your account, and then every 2 weeks or monthly or whatever option you choose to do, they'll debit a certain amount until the actual amount is paid plus the fees. Or you can actually walk inside of a store, and as we see, there's all these payday loans on every corner, especially in underprivileged communities. They're on every corner, just like liquor stores. But that's a whole nother story, but we won't go there with regards to that. Now, that's basically what it is. Why should you avoid them? Basically, the payday loans are designed to trap you in a cycle of debt. When I say trap you in a cycle of debt, is basically what happens is, let's say you needed you needed $500 to take care of some type of bill or whatever the circumstance is. You borrow the $500. They're making you pay monthly for that. Typically, you may even have to pay it within a 1 or 2 month time span, depending on the type of loan in which you get. And so then it's almost like robbing Peter to pay Paul. So you pay that bill, but then you have to pay back the $500 plus a bunch of interest. I'm not going to even go into that. I'll give you a brief description on that. And then all of a sudden, you pay the $500 there, and then you got to go borrow again to pay whatever other bills it is. And then it's like a cycle. That's what I've seen. Now, I've worked in the debt collection industry for a long time. I've seen so many people come, and they'll have debt, and we'll look, and they'll have 4 or 5 different loans that they've allowed to eventually go to collections because they couldn't pay it over time. The reality is, like a $500 loan, if you borrowed that within a year's time span, you end up paying about $2,000 on that. And that's the interest rates that they're able to add. Obviously, in the state of California, they changed a lot of laws. You can't get more than, I believe it's like $350. I've personally got a loan back in like 2009 when I needed some cash. And yeah, those things are crazy. At that time, I think I got like $1,000. And when I looked at the paperwork, obviously I didn't pay attention to it. At the end of that, I ended up paying close to like $3,000 or $4,000 on that it was $1,000. But it's crazy, the markup on those interest rates and so forth. Now, if you cannot afford to pay them, which is the trap that typically happens, eventually after you borrowing it and paying it and borrowing and paying, eventually it becomes a little overwhelming and you can't afford to pay it. So it's sent to collections. Now, once it's sent to collections, I've done collections on this stuff. Now, understand something. There are a lot of tactics that collection agencies use in order to get you to pay. Because they have your routing, your account number, your bank information, they'll say that you wrote a fraudulent check. With regards to them paying that account off, because in order to get the loan, you have to have a route and an account number to do so. They'll state stuff like that. They'll state stuff like fraud. They'll state all kinds of things with regards to trying to get the funds from you. Plus, there's a lot of interest and fees that are added on those accounts with regards to paying. And then for those of you who borrow even larger amounts, I've seen people, you're able to get $3,000 or $4,000 at this time span. But typically, there are people with poorer credit, which means that the interest rates are going to be higher. You're going to pay a lot more. And so that's why I would say, in general, you probably should not get one of these loans and actually pay it, right? Get one of these loans at all. Try and avoid them at all costs because it's a headache. Not only do let's say they went to hit your account and you didn't have the money in there. Not only do you get an NSF fee through your bank, which is typically anywhere from $20 to $35, depending on what kind of bank you get. You have that fee that you'll owe the bank, and you'll still owe the amount to them. And a lot of these payday loans will keep hitting your accounts. They'll hit your account 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And if the money's not in that account, they don't know, but they're just debiting it per the contract that you signed. And you end up owing all those NSF fees that you have to pay the bank. And a lot of times your bank gets closed out because you end up owing the bank. I've seen people where they owe the bank $500-600 and end up owing on the payday loan the $3,000 plus the interest and so forth. And so then it's like a snowball effect, and it makes things so tough for you to do so. So try at all means to avoid a payday loan in general. But I figured I would talk about them because of right now, given the time span and everything that's happening, people are getting these payday loans and it's tough. An alternative would be to clean up your credit. If you clean up your credit, right, and in a situation like myself, I have over $70,000 in credit available to me. So if something pops up, something happens, then I could actually pay. But it took me 2 years to actually build up my credit in order to get to a position to where I could be like that. And the reality is, every single one of you guys who are watching this video, you can do it. If you need help with it, you need a consultation, email me below. I'll put my description down there, and I can get you on a path to where you can become financially free and you can use credit the way that it's supposed to be used. Nevertheless, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Avoid payday loans if you can. Clean up your credit. Those of you who are getting stimulus checks and so forth, take that money and start cleaning up your credit. $1,400 could turn into literally thousands of dollars worth of credit that you can have at your disposal. And obviously, if you're responsible with the way that you use that, that'll make everything better. As always, if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section regarding credit and debt. I promise you I'll answer those questions. And like I always say, you be great.